All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start seated today. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat on the mat. You can have the legs crossed, feet out, whatever's comfortable. Let the hands just rest either down by your sides, on your knees, in your lap, and we'll close the eyes and start to focus on the breath. Taking inhales and exhales through the nose. Feeling the air move in through the body with each inhale. Feeling it leaving the body with each exhale. Starting to bring ourselves into our rooms and onto our mats. Letting go of the day that we had and starting to prepare ourselves for the practice we're about to do. So take just a few minutes right here to start to focus on the breath, feeling it in the body. Taking a few more deep inhales and exhales. And we'll take one more deep inhale, filling the lungs as much as we can. And exhaling it all out. And slowly let the head fall forward, bringing the chin to the chest. Letting it just hang here for a moment. And then slowly starting to roll the head from side to side. Just rolling back and forth in the front of the body. Feeling each muscle in the neck loosen just a little bit with each roll. Taking it as slow or as fast as is comfortable to you. And the next time we get to the left side, we'll hold the head over that left shoulder and take the right hand, just gently place it on the mat, up either flat on the palm or just on domed fingers, getting a little bit more of a stretch in that neck. Take a few deep breaths. And we'll take that hand, place it back up on the leg or in the lap. Roll the head over to the right side. Holding it over that right shoulder. And then taking the left hand, placing it down on the mat. Feeling that a little bit more of a stretch in the neck. Taking a few deep breaths. And we'll take that left hand, place it back in the lap. And roll the head one more time from side to side. And we'll bring the head back in the center, tucking that chin to the chest, letting the head hang. And then slowly with the next inhale, we'll start to lift the head back up. And we'll take the hands, if they're in the lap, we'll let them hang down by the side. And as we inhale, we're going to bring the arms up. As we exhale, drop the left hand down onto the mat and just slowly rotate over that left hand. Opening that right side of the body. Taking those deep breaths. Feeling each breath go in between the spaces of each of those ribs. And on our next inhale, we'll bring ourselves back up, bringing that left arm up. As we exhale, drop the right arm down, getting that side bend on that left side. Feeling the stretch all the way down that side. Taking those deep breaths here, filling in those spaces. And on the next inhale, bringing ourselves back up, bringing that right arm up. And as we exhale, dropping the arms down to the sides. We'll take the hands, place them on the knees. So we can either keep the feet crossed or we can take the feet out, placing them flat on the mat, keeping the hands on the knees, whatever's comfortable to you here. We're gonna do some inhales and exhales on our cat-cow like we do in our tabletop, but we're gonna do it in our sitting position. So as we inhale, we're gonna bring the chest forward, bring the gaze up towards the sky. As we exhale, rounding the spine forward, dropping the chin to the chest. Inhale, pushing that chest forward, gaze going up. Exhale, rounding that spine, chin to the chest. Inhale, coming forward, gaze going up. Exhale, rounding that spine, chin to the chest. Inhale, coming forward, gaze going up. And exhale, rounding that spine, tucking that chin to the chest. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, coming forward, gaze going up. And exhale, rounding that spine. On the next inhale, we'll go ahead and bring ourselves back up to a neutral spine, bringing the gaze up. We're going to come up to our hands and our knees. So take a second to take those wrists, make sure they're right under the shoulders. Those knees are right under the hips, feet tops are flat on the mat. We're going to inhale, bringing the right arm up, either straight up or to the side. As we exhale, we're going to bring that hand through the left wrist and knee, dropping the shoulder to the mat, cheek to the mat. Taking that left hand, either swinging it and placing it on the lower back, or walking that hand out. Taking a few deep breaths here. We'll take one more breath. Exhaling it out. And we'll take that left hand, place it right by the face. Slowly start to push ourselves back up. Taking that right hand, placing it back on the mat. Taking that second right here to make sure those wrists are lined up. And on the next inhale, we're going to take the left hand, either bringing it out to the side or shooting it straight up to the sky. And as we exhale, threading it through that right hand and knee, placing that left cheek on the mat. Taking the right hand, either draping it on the lower back or walking those fingers out, getting that Full arm stretch. And taking those deep inhales and exhales. And we'll take one more inhale. Exhaling it out. And we'll take our right hand, place it right by the face. Slowly start to push ourselves back up. Taking that left hand, placing it back on the mat. Taking that second here to line those wrists up right under those shoulders. We're going to do a little bit of a forearm stretch here. So we're going to walk the knees up just a little bit, kind of help take a little bit of the tension off the wrist. We're going to take the hands, if we can, rotate them so the fingers are facing back towards those knees. Placing them down on the mat. Again, trying to get as lined up as we can. And then slowly start to walk the knees back just a little bit to kind of where they were. So you might feel a stretch right here. And if that's the case, we'll stay right here. If not, slowly start to shift the hips back just slightly. We don't need to get too deep into this pose. We'll start to feel that stretch pretty deeply in those forearms. Try not to clench the fingers down. Try to let the hands relax. Taking breaths here. This is a good pose if we type all day. This helps release those forearms. And slowly start to shift ourselves back forward. We're going to go a little bit to the side here. So we're going to start to shift to the left, just till we feel the weight in that left thumb pad. And then slowly start to shift back just a little bit. Like I said, we don't have to go too far into this one. So we should feel a little bit more of a stretch in that left side, maybe a little bit left, or a little bit different area on the left side, left arm. And then slowly start to shift the hips forward. And we'll come back to center and then slowly start to shift over to that right side, just so we start to feel the weight in that thumb pad. And then slowly shift those hips back just slightly. Again, we should feel a little bit more of a stretch in the right side. And we'll slowly shift those hips forward, bring ourselves back center. We're going to slowly walk the knees up towards the hands. And then slowly start to put the weight back into the heels. So we roll the hands up, just slowly coming off, letting the fingers move, rolling the wrists around. Sometimes the fingers start to tingle a little bit in this. So we'll let that feeling come back. And when we feel ready, we'll take the hands, placing them back onto the mat, right under those wrists, walking those knees back so they're under those hips. And we're going to tuck those toes and slowly start to lift the hips up towards the sky. In our first down dog of the day. Take a few seconds here, pedal those feet out. Help the backs of those legs loosen up just a little bit. Maybe holding one side a little bit longer than the other. And then letting those feet just come into stillness. And on our next inhale, we're going to walk the feet up to the hands. Putting a slight bend in those knees. Taking the hands, placing them on the thighs. And slowly start to roll ourselves up. Stacking each vertebrae on top of the other. The head, neck, shoulders are the last thing. You roll the shoulders down the back. Let the hands come to our sides. Close our eyes for just a second here. Taking a deep inhale and exhaling it out. We'll go ahead and open those eyes back up. And as we inhale, we're going to bring the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, swan driving ourselves forward over those legs. Inhale, half lift, so sliding the hands right under those knees. Exhaling down. As we inhale, we're going to step back to a plank or onto the knees. As we exhale, dropping all the way onto the mat. Inhale, just lifting that chest. Exhaling down. Inhale, push back to down dog so we can go through all fours here. And coming up to our down dog, taking a breath. And on the next inhale, walk the feet up to the hands. Folding over the legs. And inhale all the way up to standing. Bringing those arms with us. Exhaling the hands down. We'll inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan rising forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step back to plank or onto the knees. Exhaling all the way down. Inhale, just lifting that chest. Exhale down. Inhale, pushing back to down dog so you can pass through all fours here. Taking that breath in our down dog. And on that next inhale, walk those feet up to the hands. Fold over those legs. And inhale all the way up. Exhale, arms down. We'll do that one more time. So inhale the arms up. Exhale, swan diving ourselves forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step back to plank or onto the knees. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, just lifting that chest. Exhale down. Inhale back to down dog. And we'll hold this down dog for just a couple breaths. So if we need to take that time to pedal those feet out, feel free. If we're pedaling those feet, go ahead and let them come into stillness. On the next inhale, we're going to lift the right leg. As we exhale, we're going to bring that foot forward, dropping it between the thumbs. Dropping down onto that left knee, untucking those toes. Take those hands, place them on the thigh, bringing ourselves up into low lunge here. So we're going to take a couple variations here with the arms. So we need to get a little comfortable. So sometimes we can roll the mat up to kind of give a little bit more padding on the knee if we need to. So we're going to take the arms, bringing them out wide. And as we exhale, we're going to twist towards that bent knee, keeping those arms out. We'll take a breath here. Exhale it out. As we inhale, we're going to come back forward, keeping the arms out. Inhale here. And exhale out. And as we inhale, we're going to bring the hands together, placing them right in front of the heart. Inhale here. Exhale out. And then we'll take the hands, placing them onto the mat in front of that knee. Start to shift the hips back so we're putting more weight into that left knee. And bringing ourselves back up onto that knee. We're going to take that right leg, start to walk it out to the side. Turn so you guys can see. So we're going to straighten that right foot, or right leg straight out to the side here. We can keep the foot so it's kind of up, or if it goes all the way down, it's either way, it's fine. So if we're tight in that heel, your foot might start to come up. You're going to take the right hand, place it on top of the thigh with the palm facing up. And as we inhale, we're going to bring the left hand up and slowly start to sweep sideways. So we're doing that same side bend we did in the very beginning. But we're keeping that hand so that right hand slides down the leg. So we're feeling more of a stretch in the side and the hip. I'm taking a few breaths here. We'll take one more breath. And as we inhale, start to bring ourselves back up, dropping that left hand down. So we'll take that left foot, if we can, right foot, and rotate it to the side so the toes are now pointing forward. If we can't, we can leave it so that foot just up on the heel. We're going to take the left hand, start to slowly slide ourselves down onto the mat so that left hand's on the mat. So our right foot's going to start to slide forward. We can keep that toe on the mat, or we can start to lift that leg, pointing those toes forward and lifting that right arm up. The gaze can either go straight ahead, up towards the ceiling, or down at that left hand, whatever's comfortable. Taking those deep breaths here. And we'll hold it for just a little bit. So at any time if that foot needs to drop down, feel free. We'll take one more breath. Exhale it out. And slowly start to lower that right foot down. And then just kind of pop ourselves up off that left hand. So we're going to start to walk this right foot over a little bit, taking the hands, placing them on the floor, tucking the left toes, coming up off that knee, and then just kind of stepping it so we're in a nice wide stance here. So we're already in our fold, and then we'll just let ourselves come down, letting the head relax, letting the neck relax. And we'll take a few deep breaths here. And we'll take the left hand, placing it in front of the face. And slowly start to straighten that elbow. And we're slowly going to start to lift the right hand, bring ourselves into a bit of a twist here in our forward fold. If it's too much on that right arm, you can take it, drop it over that lower back. Try to bring the gaze up or dropping it to the side, whatever's comfortable on the neck. We'll take one more breath. And as we exhale, coming back down out of that twist. Going back to letting that head hang, letting that neck hang. Taking those deep breaths. And we'll do one more variation while we're down here. So we'll take those hands, placing them again right in front of the face. And we're going to slowly start to walk the hands over to that right leg. Trying to keep the legs straight if we can. If we have to put a bend, that's okay. And as we're walking, wherever we start to feel the pull, just hold it there. If we're if we're all the way at the leg, we can start to kind of fold the body over the leg, or towards the leg, I should say. Kind of bringing that head down, or just keeping wherever's comfortable. Feeling a deep stretch in the back of that right thigh, right leg, all the way down. And slowly starting to walk those hands back towards the center. And one more time, letting that head hang. And slowly walk the hands back to the front of the mat, rotating those feet around. So we're in a long lunge here. Stepping that right foot back. We're going to drop down onto the knees. Tuck those big toes together, sinking those hips down over the heels. Resting that forehead on the mat. Taking some deep breaths here. If the shoulders need a little bit of a rest, we can take them, place them alongside the legs. If we've lost the breath at all, take this moment right here to try to catch it. And take a few more breaths. On our next inhale, we'll bring ourselves back up to hands and knees. Take those hands, placing them right under those shoulders. We'll tuck those toes on the mat and shift those hips up towards the sky. Taking just a couple breaths here. Feel free to pedal those feet out. Maybe feeling the difference between the legs. Maybe that right side is a little bit looser. And we'll get ready to do that left side. So take one more breath. And on our next inhale, we'll lift that left leg up. As we exhale, sweeping it forward, dropping it between the thumbs. Dropping down onto that right knee, untucking those toes. We'll take the hands, place them on the thigh, bringing ourselves up. And we'll do those different arm variations here. So we'll take the arms, bring them out wide, taking that breath. And slowly start to shift the arms towards that bent knee. Taking that breath. And as we inhale, bringing the arms back, or bringing the family back forward, arms out wide, taking that breath. And as we inhale, bringing the hands together right in front of the heart, taking that last breath. And slowly taking those hands down onto the mat and starting to shift those hips back so we have more weight into that knee. Bringing ourselves back up on both or on our knee. And we'll start to shift that left foot out. So I'm going to turn to the side. So that left foot's going to shift out to the side, coming straight out from that hip. Either that toe is pointing up, or if we can get it all the way onto the mat. One side might be a little bit looser than the other, so maybe one foot's all the way up, maybe you have one on the ground. And that's completely normal. So we'll take the left hand, placing it with the palm facing up on that left leg. As we inhale, bringing the right arm up and slowly sliding that left hand down, rotating over that leg. Taking those deep breaths here. Feeling the stretch not only in that side body, but also down that left hip. We'll take one more breath. As we exhale, bringing that right arm up. We'll let it relax down to the side. We can try to turn that left foot so those toes are facing out. Or if that's not comfortable, those toes can stay pointed up. We'll take that right hand, bringing it out to the side and slowly shifting it down onto the mat. Sliding those left toes over. And if it's there to us, we'll lift that left foot up, pointing those toes forward. And bring that left arm up, gaze going up at the arm or up at the ceiling, to the side or down to that right hand. Whatever's comfortable. Taking those deep breaths. Again, the foot can just be hovering over the mat or keeping those toes all the way down. Feeling the stretch in that left hip. Using all those little muscles in that hip to keep that leg up. Taking just a couple more breaths. And then we'll slowly start to let that foot come down to the mat. And then kind of popping up off that right hand, bringing ourselves back up. We'll take the hands, place them on the floor in front of us. Coming up onto the right toes and popping that knee up off the mat. And then kind of walking it out to the side. So we're in that nice wide stance. And then let that head come down, letting it just hang. Taking some deep breaths. And this time we'll take that right hand, placing it right in front of the face. Slowly starting to straighten up that elbow. And we'll take that left hand, starting to twist ourselves to the side, bringing that left hand up towards the ceiling. And we can either take that arm, dropping it over that lower back, or straightening that arm up. Whatever's comfortable. The gaze can try to be up at that hand or over to the side wall. Taking those deep inhales and exhales. And slowly start to bring that left hand down. And then we'll let that head hang. Taking those deep breaths. And we'll do our last variation in this pose. So taking those hands, placing them right under the face, straightening those elbows, and slowly walking those hands over to that left leg. Again, trying to keep the legs straight, but if we can, put a bend in the knee, that's okay. And as we're walking over, as soon as we feel that stretch in that left leg, go ahead and stop there. If we're getting the hands all the way to that foot, we can slowly start to shift that upper body towards that leg to get that little bit more of a stretch. Taking deep breaths here. And we'll slowly release that foot, walking those hands back to the center. And letting that head hang. Maybe noticing that the head might just be a little bit closer to the ground than it was when we first started. Go ahead and do some circles, swirl the head, shake it yes, shake it no. And let it hang, taking a breath. And slowly walking those hands towards the front of the mat, rotating those feet. Stepping that front leg back to down dog. And taking a notice here. Maybe those feet feel, or those legs feel pretty even now. Maybe they're a little bit closer to the mat. And take a few breaths. And then go ahead and come down onto those knees. Bringing those big toes together, sinking those hips back over the heels, dropping the forehead to the mat. Again, if those arms need to take a rest, we can bring them alongside the legs. Taking those deep breaths here. Trying to catch the breath if we've lost it at all. And on that next inhale, we'll bring ourselves up to our hands and our knees. Taking that second to line up those wrists, line up those knees. And we'll do a couple of our cat-cows. So as we inhale, drop that belly down, bring that gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, roll the spine, tucking the chin to the chest. Inhale, dropping that belly down, gaze going up. Exhale, rolling that spine. Inhale, belly down, gaze up. Exhale, rolling that spine. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, gaze going up. And exhale, roll that spine. And next inhale, come to a neutral spine. And we'll make our way to a comfortable seated position on the mat. And we'll take those legs out, straight in front, and then kind of kick them so they're wide. So they can be as wide as your mat. They can be just right here, whatever's comfortable to you. Just make sure we're having them straight out from the hips. We can always have a bend in the knees. We want to keep those feet flexed just a little bit. So as we inhale, we're going to bring those arms up. As we exhale, we can fold forward between the legs, either dropping the hands down between the legs or bringing them out, grabbing onto those toes, onto those shins, wherever we're at. Trying to keep the length in the back here so we don't want to round ourselves down. So having that little bit of a bend in the knees will help a little bit, keeping the straightness in the back. Taking those deep inhales and exhales. And we'll slowly take those hands, placing them on the floor, walking those hands back, giving ourselves a little help up. We're going to take our right leg and bring it in towards the left leg, giving ourselves a little bit of a space between the foot and the leg. So we don't want the leg or the foot all the way pushed up against the leg. So leaving about, I don't know, ½ inch or so of space. So we're keeping that right leg out at a diagonal. We're going to inhale the arms up. And as we exhale, twist and fold over that left leg. Taking a hold of the toes, the shin, even the thigh, trying to keep the length in the back. We can take that right hand and start to kind of place it so it's walking a little bit towards the outside of that left leg. So we kind of get a little bit of a stretch in that right side body as well. Again, taking those deep inhales and exhales. And we'll take those hands, place them on the floor, slowly walking ourselves back up. And we'll switch those legs out. So we'll bring that left leg up, kicking that right leg straight out to the side, bringing that left foot in towards the leg. Remembering to keep that gap between that leg and that foot. Taking the arms, placing them at the side. And inhale, bring the arms up. And as we exhale, twist and fold towards that right foot. Again, we can take that left hand, start to kind of walk it to that outside of that right foot to get also that side body stretch as well. Taking those deep inhales and exhales. And we'll slowly take the hands, placing them outside of the foot, walking the hands back, bringing ourselves up. We'll give that leg a little assist up. Give that left leg, placing both feet on the mat. Just kind of slowly rocking the knees just from side to side to let them loosen up just a little bit. And then we'll take those feet together, letting the knees fall to the sides. Kind of rocking so we're up on those sit bones. And then we'll inhale here at the top. And as we exhale, slowly start to fold ourselves over those feet, trying to keep that length in the back. So whenever we start to feel that pull, we'll stop there. Letting the knees just fall naturally down as they slowly start to release. And again, taking those deep inhales and exhales. Taking just a few more breaths. And taking those hands, placing them on the floor, slowly starting to lift ourselves up. Giving those legs a little help up. And we'll slowly start to roll our way all the way down onto our mat. We'll bring those knees into the chest, grabbing hold of the legs, rocking side to side. And then we'll release those feet, placing them back onto the mat. We'll take that left leg, laying it straight down onto the mat. And we'll bring the right knee back into the chest. Take the right hand, placing it off to the side, kind of like a half T. We'll take the left hand, lightly place it on the outside of that right knee, and slowly start to shift that right knee over the body, twisting the back, and just going till we feel that twist in the back. And we can just rest that right or left hand on the outside of that knee, or release the knee and just let it rest on the ground. Breathing into the twist. And to come out of it, we'll take that left hand, placing it on the inside of that right knee this time, and slowly starting to help that leg come back up, coming out of that twist, rolling back center, and then releasing that foot back down onto the mat, kind of giving that leg a little bit of a shake. And then we'll take that left leg, placing that foot on the mat, bringing the left hand out to the side like the half of a T. Take that left foot, bringing it into the chest, bringing the right hand on the outside of that leg, and slowly starting to help that leg come over that side, twisting the body. Again, we can leave that right hand on the outside of that leg, or just letting it rest on the ground. And send that breath into the twist, into the back, and filling the lungs. And to get out of that twist, we'll take that right hand, placing it on the inside of the left leg, and slowly start to help that leg go back over the body, and coming back center, and releasing that left leg down, giving that leg a little bit of a shake. And we'll do one last final stretch. So taking those hands, placing it up over the head, doing that full body stretch, stretching those feet down, stretching those arms up, almost like we're just waking up in the morning. And then releasing everything down onto the mat, letting those legs fall wherever's comfortable. Bringing the hands down, placing them by the sides. Start to close the eyes. Start to refocus on the breath. Feeling ourselves start to sink deeper and deeper into our mat. Releasing any tension that we're holding in the body, any stress we're holding in the mind. Releasing it with each exhale. Starting to clear the mind of any thoughts that we might have. Taking these next few minutes to just focus on yourself, to letting the day go, and to just be. start to bring a little life back into the body by wiggling the fingers and the toes. Rolling the wrists and the ankles. Rocking the head from side to side. Begin to deepen the inhales and exhales. And slowly take one foot, placing it on the mat, and follow it by the other foot. And slowly bring one knee into the chest, followed by the other knee. Taking a hold of the legs and rocking side to side. And when you feel ready, roll onto your right side. With your right side grounded by the earth, leaving your left side open to the sun, the moon, and the stars, and all the gifts that the universe has to offer you today. When you're ready, come up to a comfortable seated position. We'll take the hands, place them in front of the heart. We'll close our eyes one last time. Take a deep inhale and exhale it out. Thank you for sharing your practice with me this evening. Hope you have a good rest of your night. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.